Hi there, this is Jason Eagle, your Natural Health Authority, and I want to talk today about my new office, Strategic Healing, here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And I'm very soon going to be adding two new services. One is a hyperbaric chamber, and I'm going to go into what that does and why you want that. And then also a hex contrast therapy booth, which is really cool, and I'm going to talk about that. So let's first talk about what is a hyperbaric chamber. Hyperbaric chamber is this thing that you get in and you zip it up, and what it does is it increases atmospheric pressure. So this one goes up to about 1.5 atmospheres, which is essentially like going about 30 feet underwater. And what that does, and then you're also breathing oxygen through your nose. So what it does is it puts you in this pressurized environment that also adds extra oxygen, not only what you're breathing, but it also puts oxygen that penetrates through your skin, and it goes deeper and deeper. Oxygen is, think about it, we need food, we need water, but oxygen is the most important thing. Oxygen is the true medicine that our body really needs. So hyperbaric chamber therapy, one of the things that they use it for a lot is for brain. It improves brain connectivity and function. It strengthens what's called executive function, makes you think better, improves focus, attention, and memory. All of this because we're increasing oxygen levels, increases informational processing and speed, enhances emotional regulation and control of emotions. So if people are dealing with, let's say, panic attacks or a lot of anxiety, it's very, very helpful for that. Also enhances mood, just makes you happier. Now let's go into the body. What does it do for the body? It enhances physical performance and balance. All of your top athletes, every ball player, every professional football, soccer, they all use this. Maybe not all, but a ton of them. I used to work in Michigan, and I used to work with some professional, in particular some Pistons, and I go to their house, and they had these in their house. Remember the stories about Michael Jackson sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber? This is it, okay? It improves energy and stamina. So for your body, for an athlete, improves sleep quality. So even if you're not an athlete and you just want to feel healthier and better, these are what's called biohacks. It reduces swelling to relieve pain and discomfort. So if people are dealing with lots of inflammation from arthritis or all kinds of other conditions, just getting older, this really helps to reverse the aging. Now, it works on a cellular level. Because again, it drives deeper into, and we can breathe oxygen, but that's one of the problems is a lot of times we are not getting oxygen, even through our breathing. It's not getting deep enough into the cellular structure because it's resistant, and there's all kinds of other issues. So this is force feeding, kind of like, a baby or even like a goose. How do you make a goose expand their livers so that they get foie gras? You actually pump it into their throat. So this is forcing oxygen into your cells, which it strengthens the immune system. It mobilizes stem cells and encourages them to multiply. So rather than getting a stem cell shot, you can actually get your own body to produce your own stem cells, which is going to reverse aging, going to regrow tissues. It's going to help you to actually reverse this damage part of your body that's just part of the normal aging and wear and tear of the body. It lengthens the telomeres to rewind the cell's biological clock. Telomeres are on the DNA. DNA is kind of like a DNA braid strand, okay? And so if you look at like chromosomes, okay? Well, at the ends of them are what's called telomeres. And when they're supposed to be kind of like a sweater that's kind of knit together, well, what happens like an old sweater that gets a snag in it and it starts to fall apart? And part of the aging and damage process is losing what's called telomere length. So this reverses this process and keeps your DNA from degrading, meaning it's reverse aging. It combats age-related decline because it's reversing the aging process, and it reinvigorates cellular energy production, which is ATP. It gives you more energy because that's part of the whole ATP process of glycolysis and all this other stuff. Your body eats food, it uses sugar, it converts things into sugar, into glucose, but it has to then, think about it, a fire, because again, at a cellular energy process, every single cell of your body is like a little mini atomic furnace, right? Or just think about, let's say, your fire in your fireplace. You have to blow on it to get it to go hotter. And sometimes it won't even go until you blow on it. And if it's starting to go out, you give it more oxygen. So oxygen feeds the fire, and that's the fire of the mitochondrial and the ATP process, which is the whole cellular energy metabolism. So this also helps people to speed up their metabolism and regulate their metabolism if they have a slow metabolism. So those are just some of the things that hyperbaric chamber therapy does. So it's a really great thing. So who's it for? Everybody, really. And some people even more so. Let's say you've been in a car accident and you've had some neurologic trauma. Let's say you've had a post-surgery and you really want to speed up the healing process. Let's say you're dealing with lots of headaches. And sometimes a lot of headaches are coming from because people are shallow breathers. Say people have a lot of anxiety and they're shallow breathing. They're not getting enough oxygen. A lot of times headaches is coming from your body does not have, your brain is starving because it doesn't have enough oxygen. Okay. So now let's move on to the next thing, which is the Hex contrast therapy booth. Contrast therapy is contrast between hot and cold, right? So people have heard about saunas. There's a new kick on saunas in terms of heating your body up. There's infrared saunas. There's the real fire saunas. There's the steam saunas, okay? Bring your body up to heat temperature. And what that does is that produces all kinds of great things, but one of the things is what's called heat shock proteins, which is it's similar to, okay, when a body gets a fever, when your body gets sick, it makes a fever because it's not just killing the stuff that it's infected with, that's part of it, but it stimulates the immune system. It stimulates all kinds of processes for your body to start healing. Plus, heat also, like your body becomes like hard taffy, right? Heat actually increases blood flow, and it makes things become more flexible. Yes, it's pro-inflammatory. There's pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. Okay, so there's a whole part of pro-inflammatory that is beneficial. But even better, so then there's this other kick of people doing cold plunges. So the reverse of hot heat shock proteins, there are cold shock proteins. Cold shock, which is when our body gets exposed to these different temperatures, and potentially cold, it causes our body to also go into another form of the healing process, and it's anti-inflammatory. So you put ice on something when you bumped it or bruised it, and that helps to reduce pain. But here's the other thing, is what it really does is it works with your metabolism, works with your whole system. It breaks down what's called brown fat, okay? There's white fat, yellow fat, and brown fat. So brown fat is the fat that's in particular that is very important for metabolism. So it's related to weight loss. It's related to cellular energy and people feeling stronger, getting, but also healthier, right? Okay. So it reduces inflammation. So this contrast therapy is actually safer than, and I prefer it. I love saunas and I love cold plunge, but I prefer contrast therapy. And in particular, I do contrast therapy at home. I have a steam shower, and then I take my bathtub and I fill it up with water and I put ice in it and I go back and forth. See, that's the most beneficial, is if you do back and forth, especially if you do 3 to 5 cold sessions, hot, cold, hot, cold. So what this thing does is through infrared lights, you get into it, and you can keep your fully clothed, there's no water, and it's a cabinet that then, like the old time saunas, where it closes down and your head's sticking out of it. And it heats your body up to 145 degrees pretty quickly. And then that through the lights, and then through the cold air, it then reduces you down to or the environment, your body, to 25 degrees. So it goes 145 and then quickly down to 25 degrees. So it's contrast, and it's very much like if you were so like your body gets toxic, your body gets dirty, your body gets accumulating waste products and accumulating lactic acid and all kinds of other things that is part of the pain process, is part of the lack of healing and everything like that. Well, just think about it as like a dirty sponge. if you were to clean a dirty sponge, you can take the water and rinse it off, right? But there's still dirt deep inside of it. So what's the best thing for you to do is to stick it in a bucket of water and squeeze it and then release it and squeeze it. Because when you squeeze it, you're squeezing the stuff out. So that's what the cold does. The cold is constrictive, which is forcing stuff out of the tissues. And then the heat is the releasing, and then that causes, it's what we call pro-inflammatory, which is that's increased blood flow. So that washes in and it's delivering the nutrients and oxygen, but it's also bringing in the cells that are there to be the emergency cells and say, what's wrong here? The fix-it guys and say, what's wrong? Okay, what do we need to fix? Well, okay, let's say you break your window. The guy comes in, he has to fix the window, but then what does a good job do is they clean up the mess behind them, right? So that's what the cold does, is it then pushes stuff out. So it's this contrast therapy between hot, cold, which causes these actual physical forces. Temperature causes physical forces on our body and our blood flow and lymphatic flow. So it also, it enhances circulation. It relieves stress. I will tell you, when I do my hot cold therapy, after I've done 3, and the cold is just, for me, the water is about 50 degrees, right? Not much colder than that. And I only stay in it for about 3 to 6 minutes, and not all at once, because I got to go back and forth and back and forth. After I've done that about 3 to 6 minutes total, which means I've gone back and forth probably about 5 times, I feel it's amazing what contrast therapy makes you. Hot feels good, cold feels good. Sometimes cold doesn't feel good. Some people don't really like the cold. It's like, I'll do it, but I hate it. But that's why it's so good to do contrast, because you get cold, but then you get warmed up again, but then you get too hot, but then you get cooled off. And so it's delightful, and you feel really energized and amazing. It also is something, if you do it before you go to bed, you're going to sleep like a baby. If you do this at the beginning of the day, it also energizes you. It's adaptive, meaning it wherever on the scale of the day that your body is, this helps to enhance this. And also, this increases and delivers immune support. Why? Because, again, it mimics the process of a fever, and it mimics the process of the cold, which is your body then condensing. So what it does is it stimulates your nervous system as well as your whole lymphatic system, your whole system. So these are 2 new things that I don't have yet, and you'll see. I will alert you and let you know and know how to schedule and how to do them. But I'm really excited about having these 2 different therapies in, and I'm going to have more therapies, but these are what I'm going to start with. So it's Strategic Healing. I'm in Lawrenceburg on 317 Jerry Street. You can go to my website, strategichealing.us, and I have a scheduler on there. And when these therapies are available, you'll be able to pick and schedule. We'll probably do it as a membership, which is you can just come in and do it and pay for it, or you can get multiple sessions and get a discount on it and have a membership. And I'm looking forward to doing them myself. I get to be the first one to get in them because I love both of these things. They are really wonderful. Not only are they just deep down health, incredible things for your body, but they really make you feel good. So till next time, look forward. Keep an eye out for this at Strategic Healing. Jason Eagle, your Natural Health Authority. Bye-bye.